Welcome. My name is Nikkei Roach, and welcome all of you success-minded individuals, be you moms, dad, veterans, massage therapists, business owners, and those in between. We get together with interesting, dynamic, and fascinating guests to just discuss what are some of the major faculties and facilities and even some of the tools that they use to go through some of the challenges that are oftentimes failure and then moving on into success. My guest tonight, who I met through a business connection because of her ingenuity, her creativity, and her ability to be more nimble, is probably going to fascinate you about her background. So I wanted to give her an opportunity. She's going to pop up shortly. This is Sudha Moparthy, and she and her husband and her brother and the rest of the family also own Om Indian Restaurant here in Winston-Salem.
Thank you, Nikki, for the great introduction. And yes, I own Home Indian Groceries, which is a destination for international groceries and spices. But apart from it, in this 1 year, I came to see it as more of like a step to your health, not just having spices in there on the shelves, but it would be a good step to your healthy side.
Excellent. Well,
And to keep you healthy, because that's the most important thing that we learned in this year, right?
yes, we did. Yes, we did. So, with regards to your background, I mean, and I know, you have the store and, it's open pretty much every day in the week. And there are people from all walks of life, not only folks who are from the region of India and Pakistan, but also people who are just fascinated with good, healthy eating. That wasn't where you came into. Tell us a little bit about what happened before you got into the grocery business.
Before I get into the grocery business, I'm a research scientist, and I'm still am a research scientist. But during my 20 years of research working on melanoma and multiple myeloma, I came to know that I'm still missing a big part of it, which is prevention, the other side of the coin. So that's why I thought maybe that is more important, much more important than just doing finding a cure.
Mm. So, as a researcher, I mean, can you, for those of us, and probably a large percentage of us who are not science based, tell us a little bit more about what have you've done. And I know myeloma, but kind of put it in consumer terms. That's like, what exactly is that?
Melanoma is the skin cancer that everyone knows is like the most um, cancer, one of the biggest types of cancer that's like more frequent around here. Multiple myeloma is the blood cancers. So when someone says blood cancer, that's multiple myeloma. So we work on the genetic level and also to find like therapeutic. Most of the therapies that we have has also a lot of side effects,
Mm-hmm.
either in the short term or in the long term. So we work on more drug combinations or something like that, which could give you less side effects, but still work a little better than the drugs that we have right now.
Okay. Wow. And then, so what made you decide? And I got obviously blood cancers. What made you like say, hey, other than seeing a desire to see people increase their nutritional content, what made you decide to just go and say, hey, I want to be a grocer now? After spending time in academia and researchers and in labs and all that and lots of papers and how did you go all the way to just the basic needs of food?
Because that's where everything starts from. It is what we are, the food, and that's the main source of healthy living being, or for every function of us that we need to do,
Mm.
irrespective of our professions and all that. That's the common boiling point. that everyone needs food and everyone needs a healthy food, which can keep you on the healthy path, and also at the same time try to remove or try to cure or try to prevent all these diseases that we are facing. And also, like everybody is talking about immunity,
Mm,
so everything starts from there.
mm. And so it makes sense. So you've
And
seen.
also the fact, sorry to interrupt, and also the fact that I want to do something other than just a researcher. I want to do maybe an entrepreneur or a businesswoman or something. But food is my passion, so that's where I ended up.
That makes a lot of sense, because if you see it from as a researcher, you see a lot of, how do you cure it, and how do you do it from a research standpoint? But at the fundamental level, it's food, and being able to go right into prevention. It's like, okay, drugs is sort of, you have the problem and we're going to kind of try to help
Mm-hmm.
mitigate it. But food is the flip side. It's the prevention side. Healthy, good, nutritious, vitamin packed food
Yes.
tends to diminish the evidence of cancer.
Yeah.
So I would say. So what do you like most about it? I mean, what kind of drives you every day to, and with the store open, 7 days a week, somebody has to be there, and then you have to obviously, work, at the medical center, at the research facility, and be a mom, and be a wife, and a whole bunch of other titles, and a marketer.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
How,
And a
what do you like
volunteer
about
in
it?
the community. That's the most important part too. That we need to serve the community that we are living in. So I do a lot of community activities too. I do help in the temple board, and I also board member in a couple of the communities in the Forset community,
Mhm.
and we do a lot of fundraising things too. So yes, all these things. But I think the most driving fact for me regarding the store is that every day that we are seeing a customer, we are helping them, we are helping their families. That's the main factor for me. We are helping their families to stay healthy. And that's for the younger generations too. Like my son, I include my son in all the store things too, so he knows what it's about, that he need to look for when he grows up, or even in the cooking part, or groceries, or picking up spices, all these things. So it's not just for you and me, it's for everyone.
For everyone,
All
including the next generation, right?
that's yes.
What would you say is the hardest thing, to get people to understand about what you and your family are trying to achieve?
I think because of the fact that I'm new to the community, and maybe still I don't know, people don't know about the store that much. So trying to get people to know about the store is the biggest part. And
Mm,
then at least when they come to the store, we are there all the time to help them try to find their interest in spices, or the recipes that they want to make. We could do suggestions according to their health conditions. Like just now, I talked to one of the friend that I met recently. Their family, their husband, her husband is diabetic. And gluten intolerant. So I made her a basket, and now I was talking to her about all the items that I included in her basket, which would help her husband to stay instead of using the insulin injections and all those.
so tell me
So
a little bit more about the basket, because you reference a basket. I am assuming these are very tailored to each individual. Can you tell
yeah,
me a little bit about that, and what brought that up?
um, I think this pandemic has done it also. Before this pandemic, I was doing cooking classes too, to teach, because most of them would say, "Oh, I love Indian cooking, but I don't know what to do." So that's the reason that I did cooking classes. But because of the pandemic, we had to stop. Maybe at some time If when I had some time, I would do virtual too. So this baskets we started doing when we closed the store sometime in April. We tried to do the curbside delivery, and also um, even now we would say with a third party we can do delivery also to your homes if you are still not ready to come outside and go to the store. At the store we do all the precautions, we take all the precautions of like spray sanitizer, and also everyone has availability for the gloves to the cashiers or the customer service people. My husband and my brother or myself, we all wear masks all the time in the store, gloves all the time. We wipe all the doors, handles, carts, everything frequently. So we are taking all the precautions that we took, but still, some people since March are staying at home and they are not still ready to come outside into the store. So we started making baskets. So if you can give me like what's your health conditions, so then I could make a basket according to that. Unless you know what you want to.
No. I was just thinking that's a fascinating, that's a great, way to really tailor it for each individual,
Yes.
and being nimble, being able to adjust and I think it's, it speaks to how your life operates because,
Yeah.
mom, wife, volunteer at the temple, the community activist, business owner, researcher. So you have a little to the left brain, a little to the right brain, a little to the center brain. So you're like all,
Yeah.
being able to think, like a mom and being very, as a scientist, but also as a mom and being very careful to make sure that you're storing your facilities and the people who you are charged with, employing, be they your brother or other employees, that they're healthy, but also the people come to the store.
Yeah.
So what would you say is has been, and I assume the store has only been open, it sounds like maybe under 2 years since it took.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what would you say has been the biggest achievement that you say, wow, even though there's a pandemic, what has been the biggest achievement? You're like, man, that really felt good.
I think I would say that people are getting more health conscious now than ever, whoever is not before. Before also they were, but still, like there is major population is looking into building your immunity or bringing into like different, adding those different spices that could help you to bring that immunity too. So I would say like when I see that my vegetables are getting over, maybe that's a good sign too that people are more looking into having those fresh vegetables.
So
So
so so you use a variety of vegetables, spices, and then using your scientific background to kind of guide people sort of as a, I don't want to say nutritionist because that might be pushing it in the region that you reside in, but being I don't want to say, I guess, a consultant and helping them to guide them based on whatever their nutritional needs. Maybe they are, a diabetic, or maybe they do have some hypertension and there's some foods that maybe you should not, kind of move
yeah,
away from and look at,
yes.
other things that can benefit you and kind of bring that blood pressure down or something like that. Do you see that almost like you're there as a researcher, but you're also, a holistic medicine practitioner through food and helping people to become healthier and I think more importantly to stay healthy. Would you like to comment on that?
I'm so glad that you brought this point of holistic medicine is very close, very near to me, that I practice healing touch. Like if someone needs healing touch, I could give as a practice. Or if they need help with the food, I could help. I did my nutrition in undergrad and also a diploma in nutrition in India.
Wow.
So
Okay. Didn't know all that.
yeah, apart from biochemistry, that's the other half of it too, in my bachelor's and also in master's too. So I did do that, but I also believe in Ayurveda, which is like this. Thousands years ago, we had this Indian way of treating any sickness or illness. And it's also according to your body type. All this intermittent fasting, all these things that were coming right now, they're already there in place for a long, long thousands years ago.
So what Western society is finding is the new age and, becoming, oh, this is all trendy. Those who are in India have been doing this for thousands of years. It's like, yeah, that's kind of old to us. We've been doing that long before you even heard of it.
Yeah. No, it's not like they're been doing it, but it's nice to see that people are more ready to accept it. So it's never too late, also.
Wow. I mean, and I thought I knew enough about you, but I didn't know about the nutritional background and then the healing touch and Ayurvedic and all kinds of little. So I'm just like peeling back an onion here. I keep getting more layers. It's like,
Thank you.
wow, it's fascinating because I'm like, okay, we've talked a little, but I didn't know all this other stuff.
Yes.
And that you volunteer as well, in the community and at your temple and your house of worship and whatnot. What are now some of the things you hope now that you've had, a little challenging, some failures in adjusting and some successes?
A
What do you?
lot.
It's like, so what are some of the things that you hope to help other people, be they, people from India who coming to the US and working in biochemistry as a researcher and as a business owner, and not only India, but just any region? What are some of the things that you hope that your failures and then some of your successes, what can you impart on other people to help them?
I think a large part played a role is also the Forsyth Tech Small Business Center. I would say a big thing for that, to take those mentorship or those classes, if someone is still trying to explore something, still trying to explore doing business or starting a business. That's a big factor for me that helped me to learn all the ins and outs. So, and still I'm learning. Don't say that I'm done, but still I'm a student. But I would say that would be a good start for anyone who would who would be starting a business. The other thing is, like, as you know very well, networking part plays a big role, right?
Mm-hmm.
So networking with different businesses, and still I'm behind on that yet. So that's another thing that both success and failure sides that
Yes,
I'm still working on.
and I like how you were humble enough, because I mean, when you're in a society where you have a degree and you have, prestige in that particular area, one might say, well, okay, you're in the best place that you can be, but you're like, no, I can learn something else. And just because I have these advanced degrees and I work in, in research and, connecting in various health, official, and I want to say official, like, medical campuses and official hospitals across the globe,
Yeah.
being able to humble yourself again, to find mentors in another field altogether different, and not just saying, hey, I'm going to go back to school and get a business degree. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get a business degree called Hit the Ground Running and start asking somebody else who did it already.
Yeah.
So
that's very true.
I love your humility and how you're able to, because I know that in a society, Western societies and many societies, once you reach, a particular profession, you're not supposed to go into something else. You're supposed to stay there and keep advancing and, producing and get journaled and whatnot. Versus, no, I see a very easy, not easy per se, I see a simple path to helping my community, to helping my family, that I can have a direct impact, because it sounds like research takes a long time to kind of go through
Yes,
some things.
it does. Yes. That's the main reason for doing this. Apart from love towards it, that's the main reason. Because if you train or if you start doing it with your kids, then the next generations would be ready to tackle anything, to tackle any sickness or illness. So we better prepare them as the army. And that's the reason that I'm more interested in this. I know I don't have much time doing juggling all these things, but I'm just trying to be my best.
Excellent. And the fact that you put in that teaching the next generation, because I was talking not too long ago to a very successful chef in our community who said one of the biggest challenges that he sees in the generation, the millennials, even in that generation and the generation after the millennials, is their inability to be able to prepare food.
Mm-hmm.
They can order, they can app anything, but can you actually cook a delicious, nutritious meal from scratch? Not, not store-bought, not pre-made, not something you frozen and
Not
you put in the
frozen.
microwave.
Yeah.
How do you make a traditional Indian meal, or Pakistan or African or Latin American, a Mexican meal that's healthy and tasty at the same time? It is not something that he said that he sees the next generation achieving. And it's a tragedy, because when you know what's in it, you know what's in it.
Yes. Yes, that's really a big task that we have in front. We just don't have to try ourselves to keep healthy. That's the main task ahead of us, that we need to look into how to bring them or how to make them feel interested, and at the same time stay on that path of eating those fresh fruits or veggies, or adding these spices, or any other good healthy product out there.
Excellent. Well, before we close, I have to ask this question because this is important. If you were to say you have a superpower, which I believe everybody has, what is that one superpower you have that you believe that very few people on the planet have, that you can share with other people?
First of all, I would say that I don't have superpowers. I'm just like, yesterday I was telling someone that you are doing all this, you are a superwoman. I said, no, I'm just a woman. And the woman role is to take care of all these things. It doesn't matter whether you have superpowers or not, but all these things need to be done, taking care of family, taking care of community, and then still career oriented, and also look for the community too. So I don't think I have any superpowers.
I
Sorry.
think you might have just identified your superpower.
But when
Right?
I have one, I'll share with you.
So when I discover one myself, I'm going to share. Well, Sudha, I really appreciate you sharing your time away from your husband and your family and the store, because I know it runs all the time, and being able to give folks insights on failure, challenges, adaptability, flexibility, support, love, passion, and charity. And I'm glad you were able to share just the two sides of a magnificent life that you have. It's not always easy, but it's never boring.
You are putting it in very pretty words, and I really thank you for that, Nick, and thank you for this opportunity too. And if anyone needs any help, please don't hesitate to call us, or even stop by. It's up to you. We are not asking anyone to stop by without your will, I guess, right now in this situation. So even if you want to call, we would be able to gladly help.
Excellent.
And even if you don't buy anything from the store also, I'm happy to help irrespective of it too.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, honored guest,
Thank you for
being
your
here.
time.
Are you welcome? Safe travels, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.